Let's see. Awesome. Welcome back, guys, for another wonderful episode of Triggered. Zach will be joining us momentarily. He is held up at the firehouse right now for a couple minutes, but he should be joining us in a little while. On our podcast tonight, very special guest, Soldier Hard, joining us from California. Thank you so much for coming down, man.
Ain't no problem, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, brother.
Absolutely. We got a special treat for you guys tonight. Not only do we have him tonight, but tonight is the official release of his new album, February 1st, right? Midnight it drops?
Yeah, it's going to be dropping at midnight, man. So wherever you're at in the world, midnight is when it's going to release. And I appreciate if everybody go out there and support that, put it on your playlist, and enjoy the new music.
Yeah, I've heard a few of these tracks already, man, and it is fire. Like we were talking offline just a minute ago, like the evolution of music, you need to change with it, and you've definitely done that, and it is definitely a winner. I mean, the whole product with it, you know, behind the scenes and all that we've been watching, and definitely worthwhile. Anyone who, even if you don't like hip hop, get the album because I guarantee you will like it. And again, the lyrics are just phenomenal, like always. So,
thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's true though too. I mean, if it was trash, I'd have no problem saying that. But I mean, those lyrics are resonating with everybody. One of the big things we have on Triggered is educating civilians on what we kind of go through in the military, because not a lot of people understand that transition, or even like what we went through in the military, and then trying to connect with them. And a lot of times it's hard.
Most of the time it's hard. I mean,
and your lyrics literally, that you are like the glue, you know, all of Redcon one is, you know, you guys have that glue that really is needed. So I know us, you know, even before I was military, listening to the music, being in the military, now being out, it all has like certain parts of me that really resonate different ways, and it's great. So thank you.
Hey, no problem, man.
All right, let's get into this interview real quick. Huh?
I said, that's the mission, man.
Yeah, that's it. So let's see. Let's just jump into it, man. So you were in the Army, if I'm correct, right? Armor tanker man?
Yep, 19 kilo armor crewman, yep.
Oh. So what made you join the military? Like, why'd you choose the Army?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I already knew when I was a kid what I was gonna do. You know, if you knew me as an 11, 12-year-old boy, you would ask me what I was gonna do when I grow up. I would have told you I was gonna be in the Army. I mean, because I was one of those kids who was running the streets, you know, and playing G.I. Joe. I was Sergeant Slaughter. You remember G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was Sergeant Slaughter. You know what I mean? I was already on the good side. You know what I mean? I already knew what I was gonna join, but at that time, I didn't know about branches. You know, I didn't know about no Air Force, Navy, Marines. I thought everybody was Army. The camouflage was all Army. I was so fascinated on the boots and the camouflage. You know what I mean? And by the time I got of age, I just always thought it was just joining the Army. That's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
And it didn't matter what kind of trouble I got to as a kid or what I was doing as a kid. I knew I was going to join the Army no matter what.
No matter what, there was no other option. It was Army all the way. Army strong.
Yeah. It was all like, they asked me, what you going to do after high school? You going to college? Nah. I'm going to join the Army. I'm going to be in the Army.
That's awesome.
So that's what it was for me, man. It was like a no-brainer. Like, the recruiter, it was an easy sell. It wasn't even I mean, he didn't have to try and sell me anything. I was ready to go in regardless.
Walked in with a fresh pen, like, where do I sign, guys? Here we go.
Pretty much. It was no trying to convince me or nothing. If there was, I would have like, hold on, I'm going to join no matter what. I'm going to join.
Like, just save your breath. Where do I sign? Where do I do the pull-ups, the push-ups?
That's what it was, man.
Nice. Now, a lot of people have seen the older videos and such, and even some of the newer videos. But, you know, a lot of people, I'd say, think like they see videos and they say, oh, you know, maybe he really wasn't a sergeant, or maybe he wasn't this or that. Can you just tell people what your actual rank was, what you actually did, man?
Yeah, they I still get it to this day, like crazy. Like, hey, they'll message me like, did you really serve in the military, or is that your gimmick? Are you trying to profit off our military? I'm like, no, man. I was a sergeant. I was an A1 tank, and I really was in the army. I got 3 deployments under my belt. Like, what more you want from me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You want to see my DD-214 too? Shit.
But I get it though, and I'm glad though, because I'm glad like there's warfighters in this community that will try and check someone like, yo, are you really authentic? You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
That's cool. I respect it. That's why I don't get mad or anything like that. I just tell them straight up, yeah, I was.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we get that once in a while down at the market down here. They're like, are you just doing this to like make a profit off of, military? And I'm like, no, like this is what we really do. We both really serve. Like my wife's father was 82nd. Her grandfather was in the military. Like that's just what we are. So it's like, no, we're trying to do this to help raise awareness and help raise profits to help other soldiers out who need it more than we do. But It is a good thing to get checked though, because it's reassuring knowing like, okay, our warfighters are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They should be checking us, and we should be checking them in a respectful way, but still checking them.
I respect it. We should. We all should. We police our own. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We could correct our own, and we could fix our own, and we could also mess up our own.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
It's funny. I had somebody message my wife via like, I want to say it was TikTok or something like that. And he was like, oh, I'm in the military, da, da, da. And she's smart. Like she was like, okay, what's your MOS? Oh, I'm infantry. And she's like, no, that's cute. But what's your actual MOS? Oh, why are you asking me? She's like, my husband was 10th Mountain. My dad was 82nd. Stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Like that was it. Like no questions asked. Like, but it's good to have that kind of respect and checking like that. So here's another question, man. Like when you wake up in the morning, what drives you to get you not only through your day, but onto your next project and get through these projects? Because, a lot of making music and even podcasts, whatever it is, there's a lot of time behind the scenes that people don't see. There's a lot of energy and struggle behind the scenes that you got to get through. What drives you to get you through those hard spots?
I actually get my inspiration and all my topics from the people, from reading timelines. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
If I see an issue within the veteran community that's like that's always addressed, and I'm like, I need to do a song about it. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty much inspired by life, actually. You know what I mean? And like whatever I see around me, it first started by creating music on how I feel and what I've been through, and then it turned into a lot of warfighters relating to it. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna continue that, but also listen to what the people want to hear. You know what I mean? So I'll take suggestions. Like for an example, I was reading on my timeline about veteran suicide, and I was just seeing so much, and that's why I made a song called "Shaking My Head," because I was seeing it on my timeline. Because every time I would see it on my timeline, I'd just shake my head. So I made a song called "Shaking My Head." SMH.
That's awesome. No, and that's good.
Yeah. So even like I got this song that I think you're about to play it. I sent you. It's called "A Thousand Yard Stare."
Yeah.
And I was reading it on the timeline, and this female messaged me about. She sent me a poem on "A Thousand Yard Stare," and I was like, I'm gonna make that into a song.
Yeah, and when I listened to it, I was like, you hear a lot of songs like, all these other huge bands and groups about like going to war and like, of course, coming back, and you're different because you are different no matter what you do. Whether, and I'll even throw it out there, dare me say, but even like not even being deployed, but just serving and then coming out, like you're a different person, and you should be, because that's the way they trained you. And I think it was one of your lyrics, if I'm correct, and I'm probably wrong quoting, but like they teach you how to kill, but they don't teach you how to come home, right? Like they don't teach you how to adjust back. And it's like when you see some crazy shit, you're kind of out there, and you should be, because if not, then that's not normal,
Oh, you're talking about like they train us to kill, but not life after it. Yeah. That's true though, and it is true. It's not to. I didn't say that to down any military or not like that, because it's true. They did. They literally trained us to kill, but when we got home, they ain't trained us how to come back home. It's like go back home. Like here, 32. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know they did. And I know we got out in different times. I got out 2020. And what year did you get out, my friend?
2010.
Okay, so literally 10 years after I got out. So I know they trained me. We went through classes to go back to civilian life. Like, here's how to make a resume. You know, you can't just run up to a dude and knife hand him and throw him down on the ground. Like, what are you doing? You know, unfuck yourself.
No, that don't work, man. That don't work now.
Did you guys have to go through classes like that as well when you were getting out, or?
I don't remember anything like that. What are you talking about? Like a resume writing?
Like I forgot SFL, I think they called it Soldier for Life or some shit like that.
That doesn't sound familiar to me, man.
Yeah, it was. I think it was supposed to be put in place to really just like not throw us to the wolves, but I mean it's still being thrown to the wolves anyways. You know, they
got out. I was stop loss. I don't know if they still have stop loss now, but I was stop loss, and once we got home, I had 10 days to out process, so I didn't have time to.
Well, that's quick.
I didn't have no time to go to no resume writing. You know what I mean?
Well, that's CIF in one day. That alone is just. I think there should be a 10% disability just for CIF, man.
You're absolutely right. Dealing with them is a pain.
Oh, and expensive too. It can get real expensive quick.
You know what's crazy though is this true story. CIF turn-in was easy for me because the people in my unit, they knew they loved my music, right? So anything that I was missing, my supply guy he had it showed up. You know, he had it.
Nice.
Got you. You know, so it was like I had everything turned in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, man. I'm gonna play this new song you got here, 1,000 Yard Stare, because it definitely hit me a lot. And it educated people. I feel it's gonna educate people to understand, like, A, what that actually looks like, and 2, why it actually happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got a music video too. It's dropping at midnight as well. It's 1,000 Yard Stare.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, here we go.
If you've been over there, you would know this well. The stare of a man who has been through hell. The 1,000 yard stare, the 1,000 yard stare. He tried to push it back, yeah, he tried not to care. Burn the emotions with the 1,000 yard stare. The 1,000 yard stare, the 1,000 yard stare. He's from war and he's finally at home now. He ain't been the same ever since the plane touched him. He don't say a word, nah, nothing at all. He just wanna be by himself all alone. First it was Iraq, after that it was Afghanistan. He saw his battle, but he died right in front of him. He got the 1,000 yard stare, cause he been through hell, what he seen over there. People try to talk to him, but he ain't never listen. And he cannot relate to them, that's why he don't say nothing. And he don't even say nothing, cause he don't really hear them. It's that 1,000 yard stare. If you've been over there, you would know this well. The stare of a man who has been through hell. The 1,000 yard stare, the 1,000 yard stare. He tried to push it back, yeah, he tried not to care. Burn the emotions with the 1,000 yard stare. The 1,000 yard stare, the 1,000 yard stare. You see him staring out every time you talk to him. You keep on talking to him, but he ain't listening. You wonder what's wrong, trying to conversate with him. It's that 1,000 yard stare, time and time again. It's that 1,000 yard stare, cause he been through hell, what he seen over there. He don't want you to understand, he don't want you to pity him. It's best that you just leave him be, cause he ain't really listening. And he ain't listening, cause he just wanna be alone. He used to be emotional, yeah, but not no more. Cause it's 1,000 yard stare, cause he been through hell, what he seen over there. If you've been over there, you would know this well. The stare of a man who has been through hell. The 1,000 yard stare, the 1,000 yard stare. He tried to push it back, yeah, he tried not to to care. Burn the emotions with 1,000 yards stare. 1,000 yards stare. 1,000 yards stare. You would know this well. The stare of a man who has been through hell. 1,000 yards stare. 1,000 yards stare.
Yeah, guys. So that was that new joint, 1,000 Yard Stare by Soldier Hard. I mean, that alone says it all, man.
Yep.
I mean, that's real life, you know. That's awesome. I mean, I just think about like that just brings back some memories to me too, good and bad. But it's like if you know, like if you say if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And one thing I really liked about like all the tracks you sent me was like it has that melodic feel to it, but the bass still hits. It still has like that nice Soldier Hard sound.
Yeah.
So it's got that nice smoothness to you as well. So
right on, man.
I really like it, man.
I'm having problems sharing it, man. I don't know what's going on with it. It's saying that
Oh no.
I'm sharing it and saying that content's not it's locked up, but it's okay. We'll continue. We gotta figure out how we're gonna share this so I can get my followers on here as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll figure something out. It's been acting up since I think I got it, to be honest with you. Since I hopped on StreamYard, I gotta play with it a little bit more. I tried doing some technological stuff, but I was a 1992 whiskey, so
okay.
Water treatment and fuel and ammo. That's what I did. So I wasn't that fancy. I didn't get that high in the ass fab. all of our comms guys. But yeah, man. So when you were making the album, like, how did it feel to you? Like, what was it like? Is this a whole new? Like when I heard like it just felt like something new and like refreshing and like a whole new baby almost, you know?
Yeah. And I wanted to go with like a newer type of sound, but still keep it warfighter music. Cause I'm a firm believer. I mean, I'm a firm believer. I know we were talking offline, and I said you got to change with the times, or else the time's gonna change you. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
I try to go with like the newer type of sound, but still keep that warfighter music and that Soldier Hard typical beats. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it kicks. I mean, it does. Definitely does. So Matt, you're a grandfather now.
I am, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's time goes by so fast, doesn't it?
It does go by so fast. So like it makes sense because I was a young father, so it makes sense I'm gonna be a young grandfather. So
absolutely.
I got my third grandchild coming on the way in March, man.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know my daughters, they're in their teens now, 15 and 12.
Yeah.
And 10. So it's definitely one of those. It's crazy.
Hey, time flies, man.
Yeah, that's where all these grays are from. But no, it's awesome. It's a great time. Would you say like that's probably one of the best things you felt was like being a father and a grandfather?
Yeah, man, because especially like because it's crazy because you created a life that created a life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean I don't know right now because they better but yeah, man, I could imagine like just seeing that passing down. That's wild.
Yeah, man, it's amazing, dude. Especially like you get to hold them and spoil them and give them everything, and then you ain't gotta raise them. You just give them back to their parents.
Right? No crying, no whining. Just see you later. Bye. Yeah, I remember when my two daughters were born, it was just like something just clicked in me. I was like, all right, like even though I still made mess ups when I was a little bit older, but I was a young father too. I was like 20, 21, and it was just like, man, this is what life's about. Like I was working before to make money to have toys. Now it was like I was working to make money for them. Like it wasn't about me anymore. So I think that was like one of the biggest reasons why I joined the Army was to make sure they could be taken care of, health benefits and stuff like that, the best I could.
Yeah.
And it's tough, it tore us apart a little bit just because you're traveling pretty much all across the country and the world and you can't see them like you used to. So
yeah, I always said like father being a father in the Army is like I had to be the father that I had to be at that time, but it wasn't the type of father that I wanted to be. So that's like,
Right.
that's why it was easy about deciding to get out. You know what I mean? Because it was like I get to be the father that I always wanted to be, not instead of being the father I had to be.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I would travel, and I was very fortunate, being in Fort Drum Station, Fort Drum, where I could travel, even though my commanders, all of them were like, keep it on the DL, but like 3-4 hours away, I could go see my daughter for a couple hours or whatever. Then Charlie Mike back up. But
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine like being like even stationed like Hawaii and how my girls in New York and just like knowing, okay, I'm not going to see them for literally the next 2 years and hope to God nothing happens.
Yeah.
Because accidents happen. Like we hear about it all the time that, field exercises, bad stuff happens by accident or whatnot, just chalk blocks and and drip pans,
Yeah.
our friend who was on a couple weeks ago got ran over by a Humvee because of that. And that was some time ago, but it's just one of those things. Luckily he's alive, but like you never know. Stuff could change real quick.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, when we had Jay Deuce on a couple months ago, he was explaining a little bit about like Redcon 1 and how you guys came about. And I'm going to ask you the same thing. Like, how did you guys come about? And like, my question is like, how did you all team up like with Hobbs and Jay Deuce and like the whole crew? Like, how did you guys actually like meet and mesh?
At first when I before Redcon 1 Music Group, before I created Redcon 1 Music Group, I was just Soldier Heart. I was doing it by myself. So and then I thought I had this crazy idea. What if I could find other warfighters like me who do music and want to spread our stories out? So I was thinking like the Avengers, you know what I mean? Let me get a group together. Let me get a group together. So I would just find people, I would just find artists. I'm like, man, oh man, he's an army Panda. Okay, I like this guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then like Stephen Hobbs, he was the first one that I met. When I first met Stephen Hobbs, he was hiring me to do a EP with him,
Really?
and then I did the whole EP with him, and I was like, he was 19 at the time, so I was like, man, this kid is
that's young.
He's really good. So I was like, I want to create one music group, so let me ask them how they feel about it. Then Jay Deuce, I had met Jay Deuce, and he was doing mixtapes like crazy, and I like Jay Deuce's hustle, man. You like he could water to a well, and his sunglasses to a blind man. So I wanted him, man, and I wanted him, So I was like, I'm gonna create a team, I'm gonna call it Redcon 1 Music Group, and then they all loved it. So
yeah.
But
that was fire. I remember probably, I don't even know how long ago. I remember I was driving school bus. That's how long. Like I actually had hair then and glasses. Like it was crazy, and I was skinny. And I remember like going through YouTube one day, like before I got on the bus, and I remember just seeing like this pop up like Stolen Valor, and I'm like, all right, I know about that. Like, 9/11 happened when I was in high school. Also, like, let me check this out. A bunch of my friends were in military at that time. I wasn't. And I listened and I'm like, these guys are fight. Like, this is real talk here.
Yeah.
So then when I got off and I got home, I just YouTubed everything from you guys. I was like, this is it. This is my group. And since then it's been nonstop. You know what I mean?
Story. That's a great story. Yeah. And then on that video, Stolen Valor, you seen Jay Deuce on there, you seen Panda, Hobbs.
It was a whole crew, yeah.
Avengers, man. We was the Avengers tackling when we were fighting, trying to kill Stolen Valor.
Hell yeah. And I like the way the whole, like that video alone, I like how it all fell through, like the way everything was being produced, because it was like, because that would just be like something like if me and you were just hanging out or whatever, or, you were down the road and I was at the bar just chilling, whatever. And you're like, yo, bro, like some like shit's going down. Like this dude, I just caught him. Like, bet, like hang up, let's go. And that's the way, a lot of us are in our community of like one call away and we're there for each other no matter what.
That's it. No matter what.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I mean, you guys do a great job, not only with the videos and the music, but just like the way you present it. Cause you're hustling, you're doing that Jay Deuce hustle,
Yeah.
but it's not over in your face. Like, listen to us, listen to us, listen to us. Where some of these bands out there are like, oh, we're military. You have to listen to us because we're military. And it's not like that. It's the complete opposite. And I like that. I think that gives it that nice fresh taste in your mouth, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been great. So tell us about this new album. I know we went over a couple of the songs, but yeah, man, like I'm like so overwhelmed with it. I love it.
Yeah, Trailblazers, man. Let me see. Can you see it? Yeah, Trailblazers. That's my new album right there. It's dropping at midnight called Trailblazers. I called it Trailblazers because the type of music that I create, I blaze the trail for other veterans to follow. You know what I mean? I'm not like I won't lead you wrong. You know what I mean? Like I've been there, I've been where you're at. So it's just, you know what I mean? Like Charlie Mike, continue mission, keep fighting, man, and stay the course. You know.
Yeah, and that's, as you say that, Charlie Mike, I gotta give big shout outs to Raul. I mean, he's an awesome dude. If you guys haven't checked his podcast out yet, Charlie Mike Podcast and Charlie Mike Apparel.
Yeah.
He's got some crazy stuff coming out. He's got the coffee and the hats and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, he has that same attitude like us. He's a real warfighter, and it's one of those things like it doesn't matter the money, the whatever, the fame, all that extra fluffy stuff, like down to heart. Like I've had to call him one time. There we go. Got that Charlie Mike hat right there, man. I got my coffee over there next to my coffee pot.
I do too. I have a bag here somewhere. Oh, here it is. I got it.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I got the Charlie Mike coffee and the beanie. Shout out to Rob, and he's a good guy, man.
Oh, the biggest heart in the world. Like we need more people like him in the world, who would help anybody out.
So, no egos, man. Ethos before ego.
Yep. And that's the way it should be. You see way too many people lose themselves in the game, and it's no matter what your hustle is, people, they get too crazy and too wild, and it's crazy. I was watching a motivational speaking video with Eric Thomas. I'm not sure if you follow him. Man. Yep.
Yeah,
E.T.
Amazing guy, E.T.
Yep. And he was speaking on some shit like after he was done with his speech, like his speaking and stuff. Thank you very much for having me. And he was packing up to go home. And the guy's like, oh, why don't you hang out here? We're going to have happy hour, this, that, and the other. And he's like, no disrespect, but if I stay here, I'm going to get in trouble. I don't know you like that. I'm not going to get loose with you and spill my secrets. Like, I'm going home where I'm not going to get in trouble. Like, and that's just the humble side of it. Like, he's not trying to be arrogant, but just like he's smart in that sense, and too many people be like, oh yeah, let's party, let's waste this, let's do that. And it's crazy how people, they get that little bit of fame or the little bit of money or whatever, and they lose it. You see too many big celebrities do that. So it's sad, but
hey, warfighter first, man. That's what I say. I'm a warfighter first, and I'm a musician second, man.
Exactly. Yes.
First, man. Just like I just did a show in New Orleans, Louisiana, man, and I seen his Green Beret. He's a badass guy, Green Beret.
Oh yeah.
He was in tears, man. He was rapping along to one of my songs, and
wow.
I said, cut the music. I had to talk to him, man, make sure he was good. You know what I mean? Then we ended up hanging out afterwards. It was good times, man.
That's awesome.
Warfighter.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I was cutting in.
Oh, no, I was just saying I'm a warfighter first.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's that humbling motivation right there, like, because you're the whole group. I'll just keep it like the whole group, and you guys you have that real talk because you've been there, you've seen that, you've done that, and that's how we relate. And it's like, unless you've been there, like I said, even prior to the service, when I was listening to music, I did fire and EMS for many, many years. And that first responder world still has that same mindset, still that paramilitary mindset. And it'll hit you hard. Like some of them songs, man, I remember crying to them, but it's a good thing because that's the kind of emotion you want out of certain songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the whole I'm so stoked about this album, man.
Yeah, it was the song "Still See It" too. I remember
that. Really?
Yeah, because I released that one as a single, so he knew the words to that.
Wow,
and that song really talked to him, man. It really spoke to him.
It's funny, literally in my notes, like I make little notes and stuff on the side, and like each song I listen to, I make like a couple notes here or there when I like, yeah, it's really good. I like this about it, I like that. And literally my words, like right here on my paper, still see it, no joke, says real shit.
Oh, right on.
Like
right.
it's just the best way to explain real shit.
And that's what I'm saying, man. I can't the stuff, how I bring it and how I deliver the music, the topics, the subject, and I have to have serve in order to talk about what I talk about, because you can't act that. You know what I mean?
No.
You can't act that.
Because we'll call you out quick, you know?
And I know that too. So I gotta be Johnny on the spot. You know what I mean?
Yep. What I like about it too is that, you know, it's not, so your music isn't like, you know, popping bottles, you know, messing with bitches, all this, that, and the other, like every other rapper out there has, you know, what's that auto tuning left and right, you know, this, that, and the other. Like what they hear on the album is what you are in life and what the rest of the group is in life. Like there's, of course, you have to have editors and stuff like that. It's just music. You have to make it blend so it sounds good. But like what they get on the album is what they get in real life. And I think that's one of my favorites about the group.
Absolutely, man. We're 100% how we are. Like you said, how we are in the music, how we are in real life.
Yeah. I know me and you've been chatting back and forth for a while now. Actually, I think I got to, yep. Hang on one second. Okay, we're back. I had to start the second segment. The clock gets all crazy.
Oh, okay.
Because it only does like half-hour increments. But one thing I really like is like, you know, we were chatting for a while and stuff, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm Soldier Heart, go fuck you. Like, it's like, hey, how you doing, man? What's going on? You know, it's real talk. And, you know, out here we've helped a small amount of people, you know, in the veteran community. And I'm just excited to kind of get to like where your guys' level at, where you have so much more outreach because you've been doing a lot longer, but you have that outreach where we don't yet. But I'm excited to get that because we can help so many people out in using networks like me and you and Raul and so many others. Andy Kaufman, we had him on here, or I'm sorry, Rich Kaufman, Andy Kaufman. That was a little squirrely guy. But having those networks to help so many other vets across the world, you know, to me, that's what it's about.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. Policing our own, taking care of our own.
Absolutely. So where can we get this new album and any merchandise or anything like that you guys got?
Oh, yeah. I got the t-shirts on raycon1musicgroup.com. I know you put it up earlier.
Yep. I'll throw it up again right now.
Yep. We got t-shirts and CDs, and then also on all digital platforms, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever, your Pandora, we're on there.
Awesome. Now here's the big thing, and this could be going down a slippery slope, but hey, let's send it out there. So I just learned literally today about this whole like Spotify thing going on. Have you been tracking that at all?
What's going on?
So apparently, like Joe Rogan is backing Spotify. Or he's exclusive with Spotify. I forgot exactly
Joe Rogan's exclusive with Spotify. Yeah, I know about that.
And he was saying, you know, he's pretty much against like the mask and the mandates and all this other stuff because I think like a lot of us we're just tired of it. We're over it and all this, and everyone's leaving Spotify now, unsubscribing to all these stations and music and podcasts, trying to take Spotify down so that Joe can go down and he'll be destroyed by it. And when I heard about this, I just kind of laughed. I'm like, it's one guy, just like when Howard Stern did his thing. Like it's one guy. What are you doing?
And it's his choice. It's his freedom to believe in whatever he wants to believe.
Exactly.
So
I feel the same way.
So you're telling me because his views doesn't conform with the other group of listeners that they just want to just cancel. We're in a cancel area. Let's cancel this.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Man.
Wipe everybody.
Oh man, I'm 45 years old, man. I come from a different era than that, man.
I'm right there with you. I'm so excited. I learned how to use StreamYard just to start recording stuff, let alone. And actually, our man Raul helped me with that too. But yeah, it's just like it's a whole different era. It's like, oh, I'm gonna block you, I'm gonna cancel you, unfriend you. Like they're still gonna do them. Like Joe Rogan's worth millions of dollars, probably billions now, but like
Yeah, I would say billions too.
Yeah, like you just okay, go off Spotify. He's still gonna have a great contract with another company, or at worst case scenario.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I think everyone nowadays, because we have been so bottled up and confined in, that we're just like people are just crazy and they're just trying to explode on anybody and anything at any time just to make a point. And the 90% of the points are invalid.
Yeah.
Everyone just wants their 15 seconds of fame on TikTok or I don't even know what other platforms are out there in that sense. There's so many.
There's so many to keep up with nowadays.
Yeah. I had a MySpace for about 30 days. That was about it.
Oh man, MySpace.
Yeah. I think I had because I remember you got like music or something when you hop on their page or whatnot. And I remember having DMX, Rough Riders National Anthem, and I was just like, yeah, this shit ain't turning out good. Like I don't even know what I'm doing on this thing. It's funny. My wife was just busting my balls earlier tonight. She's like, "You still have an AOL?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." She's like, "ASL?" I'm like, "Yep."
Wow, ASL, sex location.
Remember that, man? Like, it was just crazy. But yeah, now it's a totally different world now. So for that, like, what do you think about that? Like with the music scene, like, do you see like different crowds now? It's like I remember when I used to DJ. It was like people were more interactive, where now everybody's on their phones, video recording and this, that, and the other. Do you see a change in that?
As far as like
the audience?
The audience, no, because my demographics for the type of music I do isn't for the younger generation.
Right.
It's veterans that's getting out. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
If you just got out of the military, then most likely you're gonna feel what I'm talking about.
And you're gonna be should be disciplined.
Yeah, because I've performed on active duty posts, and I'm talking about the VA, and dealing with the VA. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. They're like, "What's this guy talking about?" You know what I mean?
Right. Like, what's a VA? What's a VA?
Yeah. Take care of me, man. What are you talking about? Why is he talking like that? When I get out there, take care of me. You know what I mean? So, my demographics is different, so I don't really see the younger crowd. Thank God. You know what I mean? I don't see the younger crowd that's liking my stuff.
Yeah. That's kind of a good thing, though. Like you said, that's a good thing. Now, do you use the VA at all, or do you go to a different practice? I don't know if you have that availability to you.
What, the VA? Oh, that's my primary care is the VA. You know.
Okay. How is it out by you guys? Do you guys enjoy it, or I should say you?
I didn't have a problem because I'm the type of person that don't take no for an answer.
Right.
So if someone tells me no, then I know that you have a boss, so I'm going to go to your boss. You know what I mean? And the boss, you have a boss too. So I'm going to become a headache, and they're going to be just like, take care of this guy because he's not going away.
Right. That's awesome.
You know what I mean? So me personally, I never had no problem because they were going to take care of me regardless, because I wasn't going to go. Well, you can get your security out? Okay, and what? What are you going to do? Like, until you take care of this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
that's awesome.
I never had problems personally with the VA at all.
Good. I know, like, out where I was, Syracuse, New York was a little funky about it. But again, I got out as a PFC, unfortunately doing like E5 shit because my whole platoon basically got deployed and I got stuck back on rear D taking care of all the shit bags. So they ended up basically being like, okay, you take care of him, make sure he gets to this appointment.
Yeah.
So my platoon sergeant was good about that. He's like, I know you're squared away. You're an older dude. You're not going to like screw yourself over. You're going to make sure your stuff's done. But when you're going to the dentist, make sure you bring this guy because he hasn't been in 6 months and now he's red. So yeah, we ended up getting a lot of those like dudes who weren't getting their shots, weren't getting this, weren't getting that. So when I was on rear D, I ended up having to pick up after their slack. But when I went to the VA in Syracuse, I felt like just a number. Like they just looked at me like, okay, this, and this. But when I got down here in Middleburg, New York, I transferred my care over to a Bassett Healthcare, and they've actually been really good with me. Within 2.5 weeks, I had surgery done on my knee that the VA was trying to put off for almost a year. So I've been very fortunate in that sense. But I think each VA is a little different in their location and the people they take care of.
It definitely is. Like, cause my area that I live in the San Francisco, Oakland Bay area. We have they're swamped with people. You know what I mean? We got so many veterans that need help. You know what I mean? So, like, my claim took like over 2 years for it to actually get approved. So,
wow,
it took a long time. And I've talked to a lot of warfighters out there who are, really, it only took me 6 months. I said, well, your population where you live in is like 45.
Right. That's pretty much where I'm at. Yeah. I think Broome, New York, babe, what would you say Broome has? And not related. Well, I can't say related because we're all pretty much related out here. Probably in Broome, maybe 100?
You're a dick.
200? Yeah.
Wow.
It's small. Like, it's a small. And Middleburg is maybe 1,000, if that.
So what's he about? You got like a 6 veterans through the whole town?
Actually, it's a Purple Heart County. I'd say probably percentage-wise, probably about 80% of us are vets.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and I can say that wholeheartedly, and probably maybe even more than that. Even though, we might not have, like, the Purple Heart plate, or I got to get my veteran plate, or, like, the veteran plates or nothing like that. There's still a lot of us, like my brother Zach, we talk about all the time, like, when me and him first met each other, we gave each other like that, because we had both pretty much gotten out. I'm like, hey, guy. And he's like, what was your MOS? And I'm like, no, what was yours? He's like, all right, we're cool now. Yeah, and then we started the podcast. But it's a very cool county like that where we got a lot of vets.
Yeah.
So I'm very fortunate. So you were saying like San Fran down there. So what do you think about this whole Super Bowl thing, man? Like, I really don't follow football too much, but I was watching that Chiefs game.
I was going for Joey B, man. I was going for Joey B.
Crazy.
I'm a big Joey B fan and Jamar Chase fan, man.
Yep. You can't hate talent.
No, I can't. You can't at all.
And he's a rookie too, if I'm correct, right?
Burrow, Joey's in his second year. Jamar Chase is a rookie. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, that's still a pretty fresh team.
Mm-hmm.
You think about some of these bigger teams who've been around, like for instance the Steelers when they had Roethlisberger and Ward, and Tomlinson, I think his name was.
Yeah.
But you had these like veteran players that they didn't even have to think, and they were already there. So seeing those two work together so well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's such a great thing to see.
As far as the Niner game, they weren't even supposed to be there, so they had a great season regardless, man.
Absolutely.
Like you were 12-7, 6 seed, and you made it as far as you made it. It's all good, no problem.
No, they'll just cream up real good next year, go hard in training, and they're good. I'm not worried about them. But yeah, I don't know who I can really. The Super Bowl is going to be tricky, man, because both teams deserve to be there, but I was kind of unexpecting it. I was expecting Kansas City to go. I really was.
I wanted Cincinnati to win, but I knew that they couldn't beat KC. KC is obviously a better team, but they beat the Chiefs. They did.
It goes right down to those seconds.
They did it.
What was that other game I think it might have been KC as well, and
the Bills.
Maybe it was. But Bills, where it literally came down to the last second.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like,
that was a crazy game.
Crazy.
That had to have been the craziest game throughout the whole playoffs.
Yeah, it just they really went hard this year, and all the teams did. And they really showed a lot of good talent. And I'm glad to see a lot of like the smaller teams were able to get there and give them a little bit of that taste. So that would be good. Now, what do you think? Like, do you watch the Olympics at all by any chance?
No, not really. I don't.
I'm not. I want to try to get into the Olympics this year, like to watch them. Obviously, I am way out of shape to even start that. But I feel like they have a lot of talent and it's very underrated. Because these people train for 4, 5, 8, 10 years sometimes just for that one spot.
Yeah.
And it's literally them or their team, depending on what sport they're playing, all for gold, all for that one moment, and it's kind of, I feel like it's not the same, but it's almost like when you're DJing or producing music or doing a show, it's when those lights come on and that first beat drops and the crowd's there and you're feeling their energy, you know, and you're just like, it's game time. And you're all nervous and stuff. I know with me, I was always nervous right before a big show. And then once that first note hit, okay, we're in it. And you just get in that zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you agree with that? Like, do you think that was, do you get nervous before shows still, or?
Oh, every single time. And I've done hundreds of them.
Right.
I probably did over 100 shows. So every single time I'm nervous, but once I get on that stage, grab the mic, I'm in my element.
Yep. It's almost like being back in the Army in a sense where you're like, okay, uniform's on, time to go to work. It's just there. That's awesome, man. That's all. I'm so excited to hear that because in my public speaking class, everyone's saying, oh, you know, the nervousness will go away. The nervousness will, you know, it'll go away. No, it never does. I don't want it to. That's what drives me a little bit is that, okay.
Yeah, this just shows that you care. To me, it's because I care so much that I get nervous. I don't want to make a mistake.
Exactly. That passion. You want everything to be perfect.
And the crowd plays a big part on everything, you know what I mean? And like, but it doesn't matter if there's 2 people in the crowd or 20,000. Oh, you just give it your all because your name's on it. So
yep, 100% every time, no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, what's the craziest thing, like while you're on stage, what's the craziest thing do you think has ever happened to you, like ever while you're on stage?
What was the craziest thing? I don't know. I wouldn't call it crazy, but just a lot of people crying. You know, a lot of people in the audience crying. You know, but I don't think it's crazy. I mean, I never fell off the stage. If that's what you're getting at. You know
well, you hear all these wild stories like back in the 80s, like Motley Crue, where like girls were just like bum rushing the stage and like all this craziness. But I didn't know if like there was just like this wild fan like that just sticks out in your head where like there's like boom or you know anything wild like that. So the craziest part you would say is just the crying.
A lot of my the people in the crowd are mostly veterans. You know what I mean? So they're not gonna go crazy, even if they're a fan of your music. Veterans are different because a lot of them have pride that they won't even like want to come up and talk to you, but they'll still be rocking it and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I pretty much make the first move. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, brother? And then
the respect side.
Yeah, because a lot of veterans are all macho and stuff like that, and like on my demographics, 80% of my followers are men within the veteran age limit. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
my audience is different. You're not gonna have no screaming and brawling. It's not gonna happen.
right. No Eminem concert.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So how do you like when you're up on stage and you see these people, the vets and whatnot, just crying and really feeling and getting emotional? Like, where does that put you in a mindset as a performer?
It lets me know that I've done my job.
That's awesome.
I mean, because God has blessed me and watched over me while I was in the booth and recording in the studio, recording music, and he's shining his guiding light on me to help me create music that people like me could really feel but don't know how to explain it. And I feel like when they're out there crying or they're giving me a hug and it's letting me know that I done my job. I done what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't done it any better because look, the following is and the feedback is just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I find it so uplifting and humbling to hear that because again, like you said, and it's so true, the veteran community is totally different. I feel we have, even myself, mainly, I'll even say 2 main emotions, anger and sad. I feel like there's not a lot in between. My wife even tells me sometimes you don't smile a lot. And I'm like, it's not, I don't want to smile or I don't want to laugh, but like, it's a different mind. Like your brain's like chemically changed to not feel anymore almost. But I've learned to try to break those barriers and talk about things. And, you know, that's one reason why we started the podcast, was so vets could get stuff off their chest that maybe they didn't feel comfortable talking to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, because all they're going to do is just more pills, more pills, more pills, when that's not what you need. You need to have a brother sit down, whether it's over a coffee or a beer, and just like cry it out. Like, dude, I lost X amount of people overseas. Like, I'm never going to see them again. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and we could trade stories all night long of like, oh, I had a brother here, or I had a sister there, or whatnot. And like, I remember I lost one sister over some stupid shit. Like, she went home on Christmas break down to Atlanta, and she got caught up in a drive-by, and she was pregnant. So it was like, you think they're coming back from holiday break, block leave, and then you get that call, and you're like, wait, I just saw her yesterday. Like, no, that's not possible. It's a joke, right? But, and other vets understand that, where a lot of civilians don't understand that. So it's awesome to see that you can touch them in that way and get those emotions out, because that's healthy. It's good to cry. It's good to laugh. It's good to be angry sometimes and get that energy off, because keeping it in is bad. You know, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But we're taught, like in my era when I came in, I joined in 1995. And during that time, like, you cannot say you had a problem. You know what I mean? If you said you had a problem, you get shunned. They'll shun you. You know what I mean? But
yep.
I'm glad nowadays they're preaching that a real leader a real soldier and a real leader will say, I have a problem.
Yeah. I'm glad it has changed in that sense. I still feel and I can only speak on the couple bases I've been on, but it still has that heaviness to you. Like, oh, they went to BH, you know, careful. They may, you know, and you get that little here or there.
Yeah.
But I definitely am happy that it's gotten better and that it's less shunned upon. It's more, like you said, brought to light. Like, hey, it's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know even the first responder world, we talk about debriefings all the time and stuff like that, because you see this, a lot of the same stuff, and it's one of those things where you can't explain it. You can't explain to somebody who hasn't been there.
Yeah.
And to try to do that, it's like you're wasting your breath. You know, like, and I know it even goes in with some of your lyrics. Like, I think it was Jay Deuce was spitting it, like the smell of blood, the taste in the air, like the certain sounds, like the burning bodies, like, you know, that's not just like, oh, who's got a barbecue, who's got a campfire. No, like, there's a distinct smell, and blood has a distinct smell, and it's all that is very, very distinct, and it's very.
That was me. I said the scent, the scent of burning flesh and the sight of a sunken chest. Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was. So it's like that stuff. Like, you can't, again, like we said before, unless you've lived it, unless you've seen it and done it, you can't explain it. And even if you try to explain it to somebody, they really won't understand the full concept of it.
Yeah. That's why the music that I do is for veterans. I speak their language. They speak my language, so they're going to understand what I'm talking about. But I don't get too crazy about, you know, the lingo and whatnot, because I want the civilians to really understand this as well. So I try to mix it up a little bit.
Absolutely. And I think you do a great job with it. Again, not only the cadence, the tempos, everything, it's good to listen to. It's good and refreshing to listen to. I know I don't get bored of it. You know, you hear some artists, you can 4 or 5 songs, you're like, okay, that's a wrap. They sound all the same.
Yeah,
you know, just throw that away. Every song to me is different. It has a different message. It has a different story. And those stories are refreshing to hear, because I know they came from another person. They came from someone else's life. And if that's not important.
That's how the Trailblazer album is, man. I mean, there's a song on there called St. Peter. You know what I mean? Like, and it's different. Yep. You want to write it down, listen to it at midnight or whatever tomorrow. It's called St. Peter, man. And it's one of my favorite songs too. And it's like, it's a different sound. It doesn't sound the same as the other songs. And then another song called Walk Alone, man. I love the whole album, man. I really do, man. I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's give it another shout out before we head out here, because I mean, this is phenomenal stuff here. I mean, first live, like, You could be on any other radio show across the world, man, tonight, right now, and you're right here. So this is first hearing from all the listeners. Like, this album is dropping in 2 hours Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
And guys, if you have not even pre-ordered it, you better pre-order it. You better get it because it's
pre-order sold
fire. Oh, it's already sold out. See, y'all are too late.
Already. But he can listen to it digitally on midnight. It's gonna be available. So I got Jay on there. I got all the Redcon one on there.
Awesome. I'm so excited to hear this, man. I'm so excited to hear this full album in its entirety, front to back. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being on, man. I know we've been going back and forth. Logistics are always fun.
yeah, no problem, man. There's no problem. You can hit me up anytime, even it's not even about no podcast or nothing, man. Hit me up, man.
Absolutely. And likewise, if you guys need anything out there in Cali, we're always networked up too. So I got some friends out there in Cali. So it's always a good time. So thank you so much for coming on, man.
No problem, brother. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. Bless you. And guys, remember, stay triggered.
Yep.